Hi, and welcome to Change Your Emotional Frequency in just 90 seconds. Today is the third day of our 3 days workshop. And in the evening, we have one more live session. So let us just go through again that on the first day, we learned about working of our mind, how our mind works, and the mode of our mind, that doing mode or the autopilot mode of our mind. And there are certain benefits of our mind working on that autopilot mode, and there is a downside of our mind also when it is on an autopilot mode or when it is constantly on doing mode. And in yesterday's session, I shared that when the negative emotions we experience in our body, then why we are not able to move out of that emotional rut, why we find ourselves stuck in that mental situation or the emotion we are experiencing for longer time. And in today's workshop, we will learn how our emotional state. So by using mindfulness, we can change our emotional state where we are finding ourselves stuck time and again for a longer time. So it means that by practicing mindfulness, we can come out of that emotional state that can, if otherwise, we find ourselves continuously in that state. And if we stop feeding those emotions, then those emotions passes away in just like 90 seconds. Isn't it amazing that it just take 90 seconds to shift out of that emotion, that negative emotion we find ourselves? But only the condition is that we have to stop feeding those emotions. So like we know that we need to feed our body to survive, or like a vehicle need fuel to run smoothly. And in the same way, our emotion also need certain food to live, to continue to exist, or we continue to experience. So our attention on those negative emotion is the food for those emotions to persist. Like we know that if we stop feeding our body, we cannot live long. Or if we not fuel our vehicle without fuel, the vehicle will stop running. Similarly, if we stop providing our attention, or if we stop focusing on our attention on those very negative emotions which we find ourselves stuck into, so they will also eventually passes away very quickly on their own time. Like as you can see in the picture, by shifting our focus, to something else, when we shift our focus from that negative emotion that we are experiencing to something else, then they passes away in 90 seconds. Sometimes it happens very quickly also, but it takes maximum 90 seconds to passes away. But as I said, that we have to shift our focus. But when we find ourselves into that state, we don't think of that option. But as I said, that by being mindful, by practicing mindfulness, we can become aware that, okay, there is certain negative emotions I am feeling inside me, and I need to shift my focus. So I will share the technique also, in a short while in a separate video. But before that, yes, as I shared that sometimes some people are stuck in that situation or that negative thinking and that emotions for long time, but truth remains still the same, that you may think that how can it is possible to release ourselves from those negative emotions in just 90 seconds when those have been experienced for years maybe. But the truth remains the same truth, that once you learn the technique how to shift your focus and where to shift your focus, then you can release yourself in 90 seconds, or maybe instantly also it can happen. Our mind can work wondrously. But as shared, that the body need food, similarly our mind also, which is sending certain information to our body, that emotional frequency we find ourselves stuck. So that is where we are by unconsciously feeding our mind the emotions. As you can see in that picture, that there are emotions felt in the body, different parts of the body. Love, you can see that there is so much color, yellow color, and on the face and in the chest and in the stomach area. On the other side, depression, that there is so much black area. Contempt is very much visible on that face and the other chest and stomach and other body parts are dark. Pride is felt on face and chest, but again on the lower side it is dark. Similarly, that the shame. So it is that mind which is releasing certain biochemicals in our body, and the effect of those certain biochemicals are felt in the certain areas of our body. That's how that's how we feel the emotion. So especially that that negative emotions like anger or the sadness, if somebody has lost someone, those emotions continue to persist for not just minutes, not just uh, hours or weeks, but years also. So let us again understand what causes that biochemical release or reaction in our body. So what is that emotion? Let's understand that what is that emotion we are feeling. Emotion is itself is a biochemical reaction of our thoughts. So that means there is a certain thoughts going on in our mind. Sometimes they can be conscious, that we know that, okay, what I am thinking about. Or sometimes they can be unconscious, like holding the belief, or that, it has been programmed our mind to think that way. So unconsciously, we may not be aware that what is going on, but by experiencing the emotion in our body, we can become conscious. Okay, something in my unconscious mind is going on, which is releasing the certain chemical in my body, and I am feeling the reaction of that body, reaction into the body, as an emotion. And that emotion get circulated very quickly also, because blood is constantly flowing in our body, and the other chemicals are being released, digestive chemicals and other, so much is going on at the back of our mind, we may not even realize. So similarly, that emotion we are experiencing or going through is also being released by the mind into our body. It is more like sudden flood of that emotion we feel. If if you still not been able to understand what am I talking about, then let me share an analogy. There are certain thoughts which comes into our mind, and the moment that thought comes, our mind start releasing that chemical, and that start circulating in the body, and then emotion is like being further spread, further become stronger and stronger. It is like if I use a analogy like बीरबल की खिचड़ी, कि बीरबल की खिचड़ी मतलब वो खिचड़ी का मसाला सब अंदर है और वो कहीं धीरे से आग जली और उसके ऊपर अब पकना शुरू हो गया. So similarly, a thought in the back of our mind become that fuel for our mind to release that chemical, and we continuously think about those events or those people who make us anger, or who, the moment I think about certain situation, we feel sad. So we constantly thinking about that, and again, sometimes we remind ourselves how we are affected by those situation or by those people. Our mind again and again start releasing those very chemicals. And the problem with our mind is it doesn't know whether we are imagining, we are recalling those emotions, those events, or they are the real experience. So our mind cannot understand the difference between we are thinking or we are experiencing life. But it start doing its own work, releasing those chemicals. So let me again ask you to, how it works, to explain you how it works is, now think about a person or a situation which make you feel angry. Think about it. The moment you think the face of that person or the situation where you felt anger, and you tell yourself, I am angry. And if you, make a fist that I am angry, and you repeat that, saying that I am very angry at this moment, and your tone changes, your body language changes, and mind start releasing, thinking that yes, you need to feel that emotion. That is why you are repeating that. You are commanding your own mind to make me feel that even more stronger angry. So this is how it works, that our mind is not able to understand, the difference. And this is what happens on day to day as we progress and we recall those certain incidents happened in our life, at work, or maybe, in relationship to other people around us, relative or the situation. And that's what, the moment we recall them, mind start thinking about, yes, you need to feel that even more stronger. And we start feeling those very emotion, in our head, we start repeating that this is what happened and I can't forget that, so mind start releasing that, very emotions which make us feel low, or that negative emotion we find ourselves in. So the more we call those events or the incidents what happened, and the more for a longer duration we think about those emotions, the mind start taking it that you need to fed those emotions, you need to be reminded for those emotions on more regular basis. And it picks up out of nowhere that yes, you are not feeling sad or anger for some time, let me remind you that you need to feel anger. And your mind start releasing the thought flash in your mind, you unknowingly think about certain things, and boom, that rush of that negative emotion start flowing in your body. And that's where the catch is, that we need to become conscious. That means we come back to the present moment, that this is what I am feeling. That means become mindful in the present moment, that there is a certain emotion which is not right for me, or unwanted emotions, and that chemical is being released. There may be some thought flashed in my mind, but solution lies, yes, you don't need to figure out what kind of thought or what kind of incidents you recalled, or what happened in the past and how it progressed. All you need to do is become mindful that this is what I am experiencing. So in this video, that's it. In the next, I will be sharing another video, that exercise to engage our mind into a different activity which work for us, which enable our mind to release better chemicals, serotonin and other chemicals which are happy mood chemicals, and create more love, loving chemicals in our body. So in this video, that's it. In the next video, you will receive that other technique to engage our mind into a better chemical releasing activity.